I was born in the southern part of Iran, a city called Abadan. Born in a Muslim family, Shiite Muslim family. My grandfather was a Muslim leader, and he had 19 children, and out of 19 children, he had 84 grandchildren. And obviously, he had to choose one to carry the spiritual pattern of the life and the teachings for the next generation. He asked, he had, obviously there had been some things that, some things had happened, some accidents that I should have been killed, but every single time before a danger was coming toward me, I saw the silhouette of a person that always was there, and I spoke of it openly to others. And my grandfather took that sign, obviously, that there is the spiritual leaders of Islam are looking over this boy, and they are protecting him. So he gave me very close attentions, and he taught me all the things I knew about Islam. I joined Hezbollah. I was in that army for about 3 years. I was studying Quran extensively then. My grandfather actually sowed this seed in my heart that I should share Islam with the poor, misled Christians, that have gone astray, and obviously remind and be a spiritual leader to our family outside Iran. I traveled to Malaysia, where I was caught with 30 illegal passports, put in prison. And so I started teaching Islam in the jail, and telling everybody what they must do, what are their duties toward Allah. And so I did this routine every day. I prayed obviously 5 times a day. Shiites do pray 3 times, and they include the 17 rak'ah in the 3 times. But what I did, because I wanted to spend more time with God, I did it at 5 separate times. And then in the end of the evening, I would pray extra prayers. I would have a habit of reading through the Quran cover to cover once every 10 days. And I had gained the spiritual powers out of Islam. In Quran, they have the ajannah, and the spiritual beings. And so speaking to them is not forbidden. In fact, there are stories of talking to them that Prophet Muhammad did. So I had been able to connect to that spiritual realm, and been able to acquire powers out of that. And so I was able to pray for people, especially when someone hurt them or someone did something to them. They would come to me and they would ask me to say a prayer, and immediately that person would get sick, have an accident, this kind of things, I was able to close my eyes, tell you what a person is doing in another room. And so this had made me more power hungry, and I wanted to gain more power. So I would spend and meditate more in the Quran. And so as I was doing that one night, I just was meditating in the verses, and there are words in the Quran that are repeated continually, repeatedly, but they have no meanings. They are the secrets of Quran. And so when I was meditating on this, a spirit entered the room, and it was much more powerful than I could handle, or I could overcome. And so I was filled with fear. And so I tried using all the tools Islam had given me. In the name of Allah, I command you to leave, Satan, I rebuke you, kind of things. And I used all those, and nothing was helping. At that moment, I was totally desperate, and I felt like it is choking me, choking the life out of me, and I felt like I'm dying in that cell. And I just cried out to the heavens, and I said, God, in Farsi, Khuda, help me. And immediately I heard a voice, just as clear as you hear my voice today, saying, bring the name of Jesus. And at that moment, I really seriously did not give it 1 second of thought. I feel like going back, I was drowning. A man that is drowning, you throw a rope, they would never question you about the color of the rope. You just grab on. And so I did. I said, Jesus, if you are true, show me yourself. And to this day, I have no idea. Obviously, going back, I'm thinking, why did you word it that way? Why didn't you just say, Jesus, help me? I don't know why, but that's the way it came out. And before I was finished with the sentence, everything was back to normal. Now, that was not my conversion. That was the beginning of my confusion. Why would Jesus help a Muslim? Now, I had done everything in my power to be a good Muslim. I had already tried to go and commit myself in the way of Allah and be a martyr for Him, walking on the mines. And so the government of Iran used to issue the people that are fadai, or the ones that are willing to give themselves, to sacrifice themselves, a special Quran that had the stamp of the government. I had participated in the executions by hanging. I had done everything that I thought I must do against the infidels, and anything and everything I must do to share Allah with others. So I knew that something is wrong, and that was not because I doubted Allah or doubted Islam or anything. I fully believed, and I didn't know what that is, and it just confused me. And so I tried to just forget about it, But that question, why would Jesus help a Muslim? Why would Jesus help a Muslim? That would just keep coming at me. I believe in Muhammad, the last prophet, I would think, in the perfect religion. Why would Jesus come to help me? And so that 2 weeks period, I just got really confused, and I said, okay, I'm going to pray and fast and ask God Himself to show me the path. Obviously, I thought at that moment, and there are verses and things taught in the Quran that says the ways of Allah are many, and no matter what part of the mountain you climb, you always come to the same mountain top. And I thought, maybe that is what God is, And then, no, maybe it is different for God. Maybe God has a specific way for me, and He wants me to follow that specific way. So I thought, I will never find out unless I ask this question. So I did. I prayed and fasted, and from the bottom of my heart, with all my strength, I asked, God, what is it that you want me to do? What way is it that you want me to follow? And so for 2 weeks, I sat in one place and I prayed as many hours as I was awake, and I fasted as many hours as I was awake, and I would just fall asleep literally on that place. I would wake up and I would just pray again and again, asking God, what is the way you want me? After 2 weeks, to no avail, I had no answer. And I really got frustrated. I just thought, forget it, what is this? I have no chance of finding out what He wants. I don't even know if God exists. And I have wasted all my life. I have been afraid all my life, trying to do everything that would please Allah. And now He confuses me. If Allah is all great and He sees the heart, He knew in my heart I love Him. And what matters if I call Him whatever name I call Him? He knows in my heart I love Him. And if it does matter to Him, I ask Him. For 2 weeks I sat, prayed, and nothing happens. So, you know what? I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to go walk my own path. I'm going to do what pleases me. Obviously, at that very moment, I felt the power of God filled the room. Now, in Islam, the greatest sin you can commit, and you can never be forgiven for that, is doubting God Himself, doubting His teachings, doubting His prophet. And I had done that. And in Islam, they teach you that Allah never visits, God never visits human beings. I feel, and I know against Islam I have committed the greatest sin that can never be forgiven, God's presence is in the room, and I'm confronted immediately with His holiness. All this is happening simultaneously, and I'm confronted with His holiness, which